Hi, it's Dawn from Ninja Money Crochet. Today I have for you a hook review on the Furls Streamline Swirl crochet hooks. I have two of them that I purchased. These are the Solar Flare Seconds, and what that means is that they have some slight imperfections in them. These particular ones, it's either the color is a little bit off, or maybe the stamp is in the wrong, not in the correct spot. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the functionality of the hook. So Furls offers these slightly off hooks at a greatly reduced price. They're about 50% off. Right now on their website they just have the solar flares available, and there are, looks like there's G's, which is a 4mm hook, G plus 4.5, H 5mm, I 5.5, 6mm, which is a J hook, yes, and a 6.5 K hook, an L 7mm hook, M 8mm, 9mm hook, N hook, and a 10 millimeter, which is a P hook. That looks like that is what they have available right now. They also have what's in the same things, which is the seconds, under the Solar Flare, because that's the only color they have available. They have a missized, which means the size that's stamped on the hook is not the size of the hook. You can also get that too. I chose just to get the imperfect ones, which means they just have a slight color off or the stamp is off. But again, that's up to you. I figured since this was my first time trying a Furls hook, I wanted to make sure I had the right millimeter size. I just went with the color being slightly off or the stamp being off. Well, okay, so with that being all said, let's open up these hooks and take a look at them. So first we'll look at the box. This is what will yours look like, and it has the wood, the swirl, which is what I got, Galaxy, and Pride. And they come in these nice little boxes. And when you open up the end, it says drum roll, please. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. And let's open it up, and we have this beautiful orange hook, which I think this is really gorgeous. And this is the H hook. And it has the stamp on it, which I think is very nice. It's actually feels like it is engraved in there as well. So that looks really nice. So that does not look like that's going to wear off anytime soon. And this hook is very well balanced. I love the way they feel. They're nice and smooth. I did crochet a project using the H hook. And I also did a swatch too to show you. I do like the color. I think it's really cool. It does look like a solar flare. I know this is supposed to be slightly off comparative to what their hooks would, their first run hooks would look like, but needless to say, I think it really looks really beautiful. So let's get out the second one. This one should be the I hook. And same thing, drum roll please. They did come all wrapped up in paper as well, so they do come very well packaged. And you can see this one's a slightly different color, more orange to it. And again, nice stamp. Now you can see what I was saying about the stamps. They're in two different positions. It's comparative to where the way the hook is. But again, that does not matter. It's not going to change the functionality of the hook. So let's compare to what my normal hook would be. I'm going to take the H hook and we'll compare those two. So normally I use a Clover Amour hook. I'm going to pull up the camera just a little bit so we can get a little bit more view here. So we're going to compare the two hooks. Now the Furls hooks are much longer, you can see, comparative to the Clover Amour hooks. Definitely got a much longer size difference in these hooks. Let's see, straighten my camera out there a little bit so you don't feel like the world is tilting. the shaft of the Furls hook is also much longer. So not only is the handle longer, but the shaft is longer. So the overall hook is much longer. It's also a lot wider than the clover hook, as you can see. And now I'll bring the camera down again to show you the actual tip, so we can get a good look at the differences in the tip. So this is more of a rounded tip, and it doesn't have that sharp point like the Furls does. And looking at them from the front, and again from the side, this has got more of a cut in, kind of more a little bit, this is a little bit sharper at the tip. This looks almost a little more similar to a Susan Bates tip. Not quite the same, but a little closer to a Susan Bates, and it's got that sharp tip there. And this is a little more rounded. And looking from this side, it looks a little more like an inline tip. So depending on what you like to crochet with, this is more of a hybrid. So more closer to a boy tip. So depending on what you like on the end of your hook, I don't really seem to have any issue going back and forth between a Susan Bates hook or a boy hook. I know some people have their definite preferences. So as far as the end of the hook, it really didn't make any difference to me. I don't really have a trouble with that. Some people might have trouble with how sharp this tip is. It didn't seem to affect me at all when I was crocheting with it. What I had a little bit more trouble with was getting used to was this long shaft, because I have a tendency to choke up when I'm crocheting. So I like to put my finger like right up here, and this doesn't have a thumb grip like this, like the clover does, because I have a thumb grip and then I put my finger up on top of the stitches. So it took me a little time to get used to it, and the holding it back here and allowing the hook to do the work. And I'll show you what I mean on this swatch here. I mean, the stitches come out beautifully. You get very nice even stitch work on it, as you can see. So when you put your hook in, you have to allow the hook to do the work. And I still have a little bit of trouble when I start the first few stitches, because I really want to choke up on that hook. So allowing that hook to go in there and do that work. See, I put my finger up there, and I have a tendency to choke up a little bit on it on the first stitch or two. But if you just back off and allow the hook to do the work, and it takes me a couple of stitches, and I will admit that, it takes me a couple of stitches to just get into the groove and let the hook do its job. See, I'm still putting my finger up there. It's just the way, you know, when you crocheted for 40 plus years doing the same thing, it gets you, you know, it's a habit that you got to learn how to break. So once you get into that groove, it's really easy to crochet with. You just have to allow yourself not to choke up on the hook. And your stitches are very even. You don't have to worry about them loosening up or anything, because the hook is very well balanced, and it does its job. You just have to trust that the hook is going to do its job, and it's not going to loosen up on you, and you don't need to choke up on it. And I will admit that I have less hand strain. I mean, I don't have a super lot of hand strain with the Clover Amour hooks. They do a good job too, but I have even less hand strain with these Furls hooks. Because sometimes if I'm crocheting for a long period of time with my Clover hooks, I will start to get a numbing on the side of my hand because of my carpal tunnel. And the hook moves a lot, and it'll rub on the back part of my hand. these hooks stay nice and steady in my hand, and they don't rub back and forth because of the thicker hand grip doesn't move. My fingers stay right around that and they don't move. Now I don't use a pencil grip, so I don't know how these would work on a pencil grip. I mean, I would assume if you're using a pencil grip back here, you're gonna have good control over it as well. If any of you have tried these Furls hooks and you crochet with a pencil grip, drop me a comment in the comment section and let me know how they work with a pencil grip, because I don't crochet that way. So I also wanted to show you the difference between two projects that I did, one with my clover hook, my Clover Amour hook. Oops, there goes my hook rolling in the picture there. And one with the Furls hook, because there was definitely a distinct difference in the stitch work. So here are two gloves. Let me pull up the camera so you can get a better look. Oops, sorry, my light's in the way. I apologize about that. Okay, the one on the right here was done with my Clover Amour hook, and you can see how the cuff curls in. I mean, it's kind of hard looking at the actual stitching of the glove because of this multicolor yarn. It's a little bit hard to actually see the stitches, but I can show them to you. It's a little bit easier on the cuff because of the solid color yarn to see your stitches. So, but it definitely has this curve to the back loop single crochet that you don't get with the Furls hook. And not sure why, but I like this better because it doesn't give you that curve. This gives you a nice straight edge. So I just wanted to show you that, the difference in that project with the difference between the two hooks. So there you have it. That is the Furls Streamline hooks. These particular ones were the seconds. However, the first runs are $24. Furls does have I believe they have free shipping at $60. They also have a rewards program that you earn points for each of your purchases. And once you get to a certain level of points, then you can get a coupon or coupon code for money off on your next purchase, which I think is really nice. I like these hooks so much that I asked my husband for some more of these hooks for Christmas. So I'm going to be getting some more of these Furls hooks, and you'll probably be seeing them in some tutorials in the future. So thanks for watching, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.